Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in South Africa as part of the BRICS summit, a 3-day summit, and has invited BRICS Business Leaders Forum to be part of India's growth journey, projects India's sharp upward trajectory as world's fastest growing major economy. US President Joe Biden is set to attend the G20 summit in India. The White House has confirmed that Joe Biden will travel to India from September 7th to the 10th. The Delhi government official accused of raping his friend's daughter and his wife both have been sent to judicial custody. Police sources reveal the 14-year-old girl was drugged and raped repeatedly at his home and suffered panic attacks following the rapes. And India's chess prodigy eyes world #1 title. Pragyananda draws first match against Carlsen. And it's India's big countdown to its moon mission. The last 20 minutes will be the most agonizing. India hoping to be the 4th country to achieve this feat. Two children have been rescued from a dangling cable car in a remote part of Pakistan. At least 4 children and 2 adults still trapped. Hello, I'm Sneha Koshi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in South Africa and it's part of the 3-day BRICS summit that has already begun. He was welcomed with much ado, the Rakhi Thali and Indian flags all around him. The visit comes amid buzz over a possible bilateral meet with China's Xi Jinping, which is yet to be confirmed. But Prime Minister Modi has welcomed the BRICS Business Leaders Forum to be part of India's growth story, saying that India's growth trajectory is massive and that India is the largest growing major economy in the world today. Let's listen in.
वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था में उथल-पुथल के बावजूद भारत आज विश्व की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। जल्द ही भारत $5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी बन जाएगा। इस बात में कोई संदेह नहीं कि आने वाले वर्षों में भारत विश्व का ग्रोथ इंजन होगा। आईटी, टेलीकॉम, फिनटेक, एआई और सेमीकंडक्टर्स जैसे क्षेत्रों में हम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड के विजन को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं। फ्रेंड्स, मैं आप सभी को भारत की विकास यात्रा में शामिल होने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं। हम एक दूसरे की ताकतों को जोड़कर पूरे विश्व, खासतौर पर ग्लोबल साउथ के कल्याण में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे सकते हैं।
And US President Joe Biden is set to visit India from September 7th to the 10th for the G20 summit. The White House has confirmed this. He, along with other G20 partners, will discuss joint efforts to tackle global issues including clean energy transition and combating climate change, mitigating economic and social impacts of Ukraine war, and increasing the capacity of multilateral development banks, including the World Bank, to better fight poverty. And the White House, this is what the White House has said. In fact, I'm being joined right now by Patsy Widakuswara, the White House Bureau Chief of Voice of America, also by Raymond Wickery, the former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce and Senior Associate Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us. First to you, Patsy, how significant is this move by US President Joe Biden? There was already indications that he would be visiting India. There was a massive meet between Joe Biden as well as Prime Minister Modi recently, and now Joe Biden, the President of US, will be visiting India and will be part of the G20 summit here.
Well, I think, as you mentioned, Shmiya, there is absolutely no doubt that President Joe Biden was going to come to this meeting. This is a very important meeting. G20 is also a very important format for President Joe Biden. I mean, we knew that there was no way President Joe Biden was going to skip this meeting, even though the White House had only confirmed it a couple of hours ago. A couple of things that I want to underline here. What is interesting, if you compare it to last year, for example, when President Joe Biden was going to attend the G20 summit in Bali in November of last year, starting April, President Joe Biden and also the White House had already signaled that he is not going to come unless President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, was disinvited. This year with India, we don't see anything like that. I mean, I think it's now just a given that on all these multilateral summits, Russia will not be officially kicked out, but usually Vladimir Putin does not attend personally, so that may not be such an issue anymore. And the other point that I'd like to underline here is also how significant this is for Joe Biden as a forum to include the global South, to engage the global South in terms of the West coalition to support Ukraine. So those two issues are important as we keep in mind for the president's visit in India.
Right. Thank you for that. And in fact, let me just get in Raymond Vickery at this point. Mr. Raymond, what would be the key takeaways of this meeting as Joe Biden visits India? Of course, a lot of focus on global South, ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. But how is this really going to be looked at globally and including particularly by the US and India?
Well, thanks for having me. I think that this is a continuation of what we saw in June when Prime Minister Modi visited the United States. And I think the key takeaway here is the relationship between the U.S. and India as the world's two greatest democracies. It's plain that the Biden administration has placed a huge confidence in India and in Indian democracy. I would point out that President Biden is not just coming for the G20 meeting. He's coming 2 days early. And that's not insignificant because it will give him an opportunity to talk bilaterally with Prime Minister Modi and others about the U.S.-India relationship. Right. So I see this as broader than just the two great leaders, Biden and Modi. I see it as a continuation of the cementing of the ties between the United States and India.
Right. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us. A few very crucial days ahead, even as several top leaders are set to be in India for the big G20 summit finale. And moving on to news from back home, just days after devastation across Uttarakhand and Himachal due to intense rainfall and landslides, most parts of the country in reality now face deficit rainfall. And many states like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, the Northeast, among others, seem to be staring at just about the worst.
While the above normal rainfall in northwest India has devastated Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, many states are struggling with below normal monsoon rainfall since the 1st of June this year. The latest Met Department report shows the southwest monsoon was 7% below normal till the 21st of August.
अभी क्या है कि जो ओवरऑल अगर हम रेनफॉल की बात करें मानसून सीजन की एज ए होल टिल टुडे स्पेसिफिकली स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम नागालैंड मणिपुर मिजोरम त्रिपुरा देन गैंगटॉक वेस्ट बंगाल झारखंड बिहार और ईस्ट यूपी इस राज्यों में रेनफॉल सामान्य से कम है.
The latest Met Department data shows Jharkhand received 37% below normal rainfall. Bihar has recorded a 32% shortfall. Gangetic West Bengal has reported a 29% below normal rainfall. In eastern UP, rainfall has been 35% below normal. Rainfall has been 17% below normal in Assam and Meghalaya, and 14% below normal in Chhattisgarh. In Saurashtra and Kutch, rainfall has been 72% above normal, 60% above normal in Rajasthan, and 35% above normal in Himachal Pradesh. This irregular rainfall has come in the middle of the Kharif sowing season.
The Agriculture Ministry data shows that the total area coverage recorded under all Kharif crops was around 1 lakh hectare more on 18th August 2023 vis-a-vis 18th August 2022. The area coverage under rice has recorded an increase of around 15 lakh hectare this year till 18th August, while the area coverage under pulses has declined by around 11 lakh 59,000 hectares.
लास्ट 2 years की प्रोडक्शन 317 लाख मेट्रिक टन और 318 लाख मेट्रिक टन हुई है. हमारा अभी तो खरीफ की सोइंग चालू है, थोड़ा डिले जरूर हुआ है, पर लगभग अनुमान है कि एरिया सेम रहेगा. अगर एरिया सेम रहता है तो मुझे लगता है कोई प्रोडक्शन में तकलीफ नहीं आएगी, पर्याप्त मात्रा में प्रोडक्शन हो जाएगी.
The Indian Met Department has forecast heavy rain across many states. Met scientists claim this can help compensate the deficient monsoon rainfall recorded till 21st August this year. It could also improve the sowing of important kharif crops, especially pulses, in the coming days. In Delhi with camera person Mohammad Mursaleen and Himanshu Shekhar, Osama Shab for NDTV.
And a shocker from Delhi. The teen girl raped multiple times by suspended senior Delhi government official Premoday Kaka was drugged before each act of sexual abuse, and on one instance woke up to injuries on her body, according to police sources, who've said far more worse details emerging out of this shocking crime. Police sources also said the young girl, then 14 years old, was depressed after her father died in 2020. According to police, the first rape occurred on October 31st, 2020. The official who worked at the Women and Child Development Department and has been suspended was produced in court today, sent to a day's judicial custody. His wife was also arrested and sent to judicial custody and is accused of giving the girl abortion pills. The details are shocking, very disturbing.
सर, कोर्ट में पेश किया गया, क्या हुआ आज कोर्ट में?
कल शाम को ये दो मुख्य जो आरोपी हैं, इसमें प्रमोदय खंका और उनकी वाइफ, इन दोनों को हमने अरेस्ट किया था. 24 घंटे के अंदर हमने जो है कोर्ट में पेश किया और न्यायिक जो है ऑनरेबल कोर्ट है, उन्होंने न्यायिक हिरासत में इनको भेज दिया.
अभी तक की जांच में क्या क्या और बातें सामने आई हैं, किस तरह की साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप लोग कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, इट इज़ वेरी प्री मैच्योर एट दिस स्टेज कि जो हम किसी कंक्लूजन पे आए. हम हर तरीके से, बड़े प्रोफेशनल तरीके से इसमें जांच कर रहे हैं. जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में आएगा वो उस लिहाज से हम जल्द ही चार्जशीट करने की कोशिश करेंगे.
सर, विक्टिम ने अपने बयान में ये भी कहा है कि एक धार्मिक स्थान पर उसके साथ में छेड़खानी हुई, तो उसको लेकर क्या वहाँ पर टीम भेज रहे हैं, क्या जाँच की जाएगी वहाँ पर?
हम इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन में हर तरीके के फैक्ट्स जो हैं उनका एनालाइज जो है तरीके से करेंगे और इसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन में टेकअप करेंगे.
जो एक्यूज्ड है, क्या उसका पोटेंसी टेस्ट भी आज हुआ है?
उनका मेडिकल हुआ है और इसके चलते जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में हमें ज़रूरत होगी हम अकॉर्डिंगली इसमें टेकअप करेंगे.
सर, लास्ट सवाल, जो विक्टिम है उसकी कंडीशन क्या है?
हाँ, विक्टिम की आज हमने पूछा है, पहले से बेहतर है कंडीशन. वो स्ट्रेस में है अदरवाइज, लेकिन डॉक्टर्स ने कहा है कि बेटर है.
And now some news regarding COVID-19. Of those admitted to hospital with moderate to severe COVID-19 infection, 6.5% died at the end of the one-year follow-up period. An ICMR study has found this. People experiencing post-COVID conditions after being discharged from the hospital were nearly 3 times more likely to die during the following year compared to those who did not report these symptoms. Nantara explains. And 2 children who were among 8 people trapped for over 12 hours in a cable car dangling 900 feet above the ground in a remote and mountainous part of Pakistan have been rescued. The children between 10 and 15 years old were using the cable car to get to school when one wire broke, leaving the cable car tilting dangerously and dangling mid-air. According to reports, the first child was brought out by the army helicopter, while the second was pulled to safety by locals using a zip line. Children and adults still remain trapped. While India is celebrating 2 things, India's mission to the moon as well as a young chess prodigy. More on that after a short break. Welcome back. India's Chandrayaan-3 is all set to create history. On Wednesday, the nation will go through one of the most agonizing 20 minutes when the Vikram lander goes in to attempt a soft landing on the moon surface in the evening template.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LTM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft.
India's celestial 20 minutes of terror. India will go through a nail-biting 20 minutes of terror or a T20 finish.
Liftoff normal, P1 tracking.
After a majestic liftoff, ISRO's Bahubali rocket put Chandrayaan-3 in the Earth's orbit.
200 stages are separated.
Chandrayaan-3 took many rounds of the Earth gaining velocity. On August 1st, 2023, Chandrayaan was nudged towards the moon on its 3.84 lakh kilometer lonely journey. On August 5th, 2023, the Chandrayaan satellite gently entered into the moon's orbit and settled in its embrace. In a crucial maneuver, the propulsion module and the Vikram lander with the Pragyan rover separated on August 17, 2023, when the satellite was in a 153 km by 163 km orbit. Soon, the Vikram lander is brought closer to the moon surface in an elliptical orbit before the powered descent can begin. On the day of the landing, the 20 minutes of terror or the T20 kick in for a nail-biting finish. In the powered descent, the Vikram starts hurtling down towards the moon surface at a velocity of 1.68 kilometers per second, which is nearly 6,048 kilometers per hour, almost 10 times the velocity of an airplane. Vikram is now slowing down with all 4 engines firing, but the lander is still almost horizontal to the surface of the moon. It then touches down on the lunar surface with just 2 engines firing, and the legs have been designed to take a maximum impact of 3 meters per second or about 10.8 kilometers per hour. Once the sensors on the legs feel the surface, the engines are shut down and the 20 minutes of terror are over. India's flag reaches the moon surface. Subsequently, the ramp opens up, the Pragyan rover is rolled down. Once the Pragyan rover reaches the lunar surface, the rover is then free to move around the moon. The big moment arrives when the Vikram lander takes images of the rover and the Pragyan rover takes images of the lander. The first selfies by India from the lunar surface are then beamed back to India. Now, the real science can begin. The Vikram lander and the rover are both solar powered and are made to last 1 lunar day, which translates to 14 Earth days. In New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
And a huge moment for Indian chess, as India's teen chess sensation Pragyananda has drawn first of the two matches against world number 1 Magnus Carlsen in the final of the World Chess Cup. After defeating number 2 and number 3, Pragyananda at 18 years of age is the youngest to play in the World Cup final.